Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here, once again. Right, if you couldn't already tell, we're doing Dreamcast now. Yeah. This is like the most obvious thing about me. Like, do you ever have those moments with people where they'll like say something about you and they'll say it like it's incredibly fucking obvious and you go, why are you saying that for? It's like, it's obvious with you. And it's like, these people know me. And it somehow makes us feel like negative. Okay, well, me being a big Dreamcast fan is pretty much the fact everybody knows about me, and I can't really get mad because I make it very public and I talk about it so much. It's my favourite console. I love the Dreamcast a lot. And it's nerve-wracking. Okay, I have all my Dreamcast games here in a very precarious pile, and you guys know how fragile and how shit European Dreamcast cases are, okay? I'm pretty sure I heard a few things like crack as I was putting them all on the floor, okay? So I want to quickly get this over with and bung them back on the shelf. So, without further ado, let's start. And just like my Saturn video, we'll start with imports. So, first one we got here is, this is Rent-A-Hero, number 1. A sequel to Rent-A-Hero for the Mega Drive, I think it was. I think this game did come out in English on the original Xbox. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've never really popped in to try it, but I hear it's a classic-ish in Japan, so yeah, that's a thing. Next we have, this is Puyo Puyo Nexus, I think it's probably called. It's the 4th main series Puyo Puyo game. It came out on N64 and PlayStation as well. But I got it here for the Dreamcast, so yeah. I did play this one a little bit. The art style is really weird. Like, they took a big departure from the other games, like the ones on the Saturn and stuff. At least to a degree that I noticed. But yeah, it's still Puyo Puyo, so whatever. Here's a nice one. Ikaruga, a game that I have for the Switch, for the Xbox, and for the GameCube. But I had to have the Dreamcast version, you know? Even though it's Japan only. Oh, fuck. I forgot about this. This case is fucked. It's not got, like, doesn't stay in its here properly. I told myself I need to replace this. Fuck. But yeah, not as good as Radiant Silvergun. That's the game I was comparing it to there, but still pretty good, for sure. Okay. Here we have a Japanese version of D2. I have, incidentally, because it wasn't released, in the Europe, an American version of D2. This was something that I wanted to play for so long. I remember hearing about it even before I became such a big fan of like D1 for the Saturn and Enemy Zero for the Saturn. I really wanted to play this game, and it's alright. There's definitely some things I could rant about it that kind of bring the experience down for me. But overall, I was very happy to play it. I don't know why I have a Japanese copy. Oh well. There we go. And, right. Next I have Sakura Wars 3 and Sakura Wars 4. Again, these games were stupidly cheap. So it's like, why the fuck wouldn't you buy it? What's rattling about in here? I got like the special editions for both of these games. Was it these bits of paper? Must have been. I don't know. Yeah, that's number 3 there. Number 4, it also came in like this box here. Number 4, again, stupidly cheap, and I don't even know what's in here. Okay, I just have it. So, yeah. Sakura Wars. Wouldn't it be nice if we could play these games in English? Maybe one day in an alternate universe we'll get to. Right. Right, here's one of my big favourite games for the Dreamcast. No joke! Seaman, okay? That game where you talk to a fish for a microphone that you plug into your Dreamcast controller. I love this game. It was genuinely, like, amazing to play for it, alright? Talking to that little fucking seaman was really entertaining, and I can't believe how, like, well they got it right. Like, maybe it's just that they kind of masked the technology behind just, like, the fact that the seaman is such a snarky arsehole, and it's fun to talk to him in that way. But yeah, big favourite here, honest to God. I was very surprised how fun Seaman was, because you just, as a Dreamcast collector, doesn't live in America or Japan where this game wasn't released, you know, you just hear it as like a joke for most of the time. So to actually get to play it was great. Right, I have here a Japanese version of Sonic Adventure 2. This is the special edition that came with like the nice little coin and stuff. Funny story about this actually. I picked this up from a convention and it was like marked at £40 at the time. And I remember like looking at it thinking, oh, I really want this. And it was hard to justify the sort of £40, and I was just like, maybe I'll come back for it later, so I put it down. And my friend who I was with at the time picked it up and was like, how much is this? He was talking quite loud. He's like, £40, oof, alright. Like, he didn't say it like that, but he was basically calling attention to the price. And when we came back to that same table later, it had been marked down from like £40 to 25. And I asked the guy, oh, did you put this down? And he said, yeah, we had a look. It doesn't actually go for like 40, it goes for about 25. And I was like, I'll take it. So, yeah, I've got that there, which is really cool. Next we got Hellbleed. Just like D2, this is one of the big cult classic horror games for the Dreamcast. And I gotta be honest, this game infuriated the fuck out of me when I played it for the first time, you know. It is extremely frustrating, especially if you don't know what you're doing at the beginning. I think this is a game I really need to give a second chance, though. Like, in general, you know how there are some games that you should just play a second time? I think this is definitely one for me. So I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to diss it. I'm very happy to have this. Hellbleed for the Dreamcast. And then my last import here is Bomberman Online. I can't play it online anymore. Good thing I have Saturn Bomberman, I suppose. Okay, let me just take these imports and bung them back on the shelf. Oh god, this is precarious. Just to make room for these extremely fragile children right here, because they're my family, okay, and I don't want to see them get hurt, but they will because they're so fucking fragile. Yeah, let's get into the European games. We'll start off fairly obvious. I got them right here. Shenmue 1 and 2, I'm not even going to talk about them. There's no fucking point, you all know. You all know. You all know. Right. Here's the Sonic Adventure games. They just happen to be together. I don't really have these organised in any other way. Yeah, I love these games to absolute death. I feel like I display a sort of like elitism when it comes to these games, because most people who are Sonic fans and love these games played them on the GameCube. Not enough people played them on the Dreamcast, and I sincerely believe in my heart that these versions are better than any other version that have been released. I believe that in my heart. Maybe that's the biased Dreamcast fanboy in me that's saying that, but whatever. I'm sticking to it. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Two of the best games I've ever played, as far as I'm fucking concerned. Alright. Blue Stinger, one of the first games I played on the Dreamcast. For the people who made this would go on to make Hellbleed, actually, and it's that same sort of, like, really weird, but also really fascinating horror, like, thing. It's a very weird game, and I love it a lot, so it's so bad it's good. I hate saying that, but it kind of applies to this. But yeah, Blue Stinger. I like that. I like that a lot. We got Sonic Shuffle. I don't like this that much. It really is just, as you've all heard, it's a fucking Mario Party game but with Sonic characters. Not my thing. Jet Set Radio. Fucking all-time favourite right here. I love Jet Set Radio. We have a Rez. This gets like re-released a fair bit. You can also get it on the PS2. You can also get it on the 360, and now you can get it on like Rez Infinity. I believe that's what it's called, for VR, which has VR support for like PS4 and PC. Definitely pick it up on PC or PS4, even if you don't have VR, because that is the best version to get. This version doesn't run as well. It doesn't run at like 60 frames like those versions. But it's still really good. You know, it was originally a Dreamcast game at first, so I had to have this. So, yeah. Love Rez. For fighters, literally the most significant thing I can say about this game is that one of these characters who you can choose to play as comes from Glasgow. And I played as him, and I don't remember the rest of the game, so next. Fighting Force 2, it's not very good. KO the Kangaroo. It's also not very good. I wish it was good, but it's not. It's utter shite. Okay. Here's Virtua Tennis 1. These games are actually really good. I'm surprised how much I dug this, okay? I can't remember if it was this or 2 that I played a great deal of, you know? Like, I just sort of, like, spent a couple of days playing them, getting through, like, as many modes as I could, just to say that I had played them. And yeah, they're definitely good games. Like, they're very highly reviewed. These were, like, really a big deal when they came out. Now it's just like you have, like, a million other fucking tennis games to play, but... Virtua Tennis. Virtua Tennis. I'm piling them up too much, they're gonna fall over. Pen. What the fuck is this game? I picked this up from a charity shop years ago. I think he plays like a bunch of like snow creatures and it's like a minigame collection or something. I think. Anyway, Pen. Right. Tomb Raider, The Last Revolution. Probably, as far as like classic Tomb Raider goes, this is the one that I've put the most time into. I never did beat it. I'm not like the biggest fan of like the classic Tomb Raider games, but it was alright. You know, I don't know when the Tomb Raider games got bad. If Angry Video Game Nerd is to be believed, it was Tomb Raider Chronicles for the PS1. That was when the series definitely went south. I don't know, this was the 4th one. Felt as good as all the other ones, I'd say, but yeah, whatever. Grandia 2, second best RPG for... Oh fuck, is it? I don't want to say that just yet. Really good RPG for the Dreamcast. You can play this on Steam now, actually. They released an anniversary collection. Well, edition, I should say. I haven't gone around to playing that version, actually. But I had my fill with this one. It's really good. Enjoy it a lot. Okay. Now, here is Samba de Amigo. And I also have this. The Samba de Amigo pack. It's a bit water damaged at the back there, so I didn't pay like too much for it, but it comes with the maracas and all that. And I hate to say it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Samba de Amigo, you know? I don't dislike it. It is fun to play, especially when you've got a friend over who's never fucking played it before. You just set up the map and the maracas, and it actually works. It's actually a really good functional product, this, right? I've just not got into it as much as I feel like I should, right? You know, in Sega, they like to use Samba, or is this monkey's name Samba or Amigo? I don't even know. I feel like I hear his name differently, depending on what game you're playing and who you speak to. I think it's Amigo, but yeah, they like him. They use him in a bunch of games, but me, I'm just like, yeah, it's nice to have this, and that's pretty much where my love for him, that's the extent of it, I should say. Okay. Right. Evolution, an RPG by Ubisoft. Well, at least published by them, I should say. I've not played this yet, and there's a sequel that's incredibly rare. You can't even find like copies on eBay, really. I would like to try and get that. Maybe if I get that version, I'll be more inclined to give this one a try. Or maybe I should try this to make sure I like it first. What a novel concept. But yeah, I like this cover. I can say that. It looks like really charming. I think I would like it. We'll see. We'll see. We got 18 Wheeler right here. A surprisingly fun game. A fun little arcade style game where you play as like a truck and you gotta like make your way across the country, and in between it you have these like fucking parking mini games with the truck, which, you know, trying to like park a truck obviously sounds like murder, but you do it in this game in between missions and it's surprisingly like fun, you know. I think this was actually developed by AM2 as well. Original game. Was this AM2? I'm not 100% sure. It was Sega, I know that much, but yeah, 18 Wheeler, I like this one. It's really good. Yeah. Outrigger. Okay, this one I know was, yes, this one was AM2. There are logos there and everything. This was like an online-only shooting game for the Dreamcast. Obviously, you can't play it anymore, but I think there are still like little missions that you can play with it. I think it was more ideal to play it with keyboard and mouse. It says keyboard compatible here, but I don't know if that was actually to play it or to like type to people as you were playing them. But yeah, it's just a nice piece of history to have in that regard, you know, because there's no online, there's not much point playing it now, I suppose. But, you know, I'll just have it. Keep that description in mind when I get to a certain other game, by the way. House of the Dead 2. Mwah! Love this game. Absolutely. The camera thinks that the zombie on the cover there is someone else. That's funny. But, yeah, my favourite game... Is it my favourite in the House of the Dead series? I don't know, but it's up there. I played it so much. I used to have the light gun. It was so much fun. You can play it with a controller and just have as much fun, I think. But yeah, House of the Dead 2, I'm starting to gush. It's like, it's really good. I love that. Hydro Thunder, pretty good racing game. I picked it up not too long ago, I would say. And I don't think it's like a Dreamcast exclusive or whatever, but it's fun. Not too much to say otherwise. Right, here we have Power Stone 2. I've not popped this in yet. Where is it? I have Power Stone 1 somewhere. I'll just talk about it now. Okay, Power Stone 1, I played that a little bit, and it's a really fun, like, sort of like 3D game, fighting game thing, you know, almost like what Smash Brothers would probably play like if they added, like, a third dimension to it. And apparently this game is, like, better in every way. Like, they improved a bunch of, like, the fighting mechanics and whatnot. I think they, like, upped it from 2 players to 4 players as well. I don't know, I really need to pop this one in. Because, again, I'm not even the biggest fan of the first Power Stone game, if I'm honest. I just didn't have a chance to, like, play them as much when I was younger, and I've not really had a chance to play them now. But, yeah, they're definitely big favourites among Dreamcast fans, so I gotta respect that. But I just need to sink some time into it myself. Resident Evil Code Veronica. How old school is this sticker? That's from Game, by the way. I remember when Game was, like, fairly small. They weren't, like, the biggest retailer of video games in the UK, and they weren't shit. They actually had good deals on their games, and they had a good selection, I remember. But, yeah, this favourite Resident Evil game, one of my favourite games on the Dreamcast, one of the reasons why I love the Dreamcast so much. Yeah. Starting to repeat myself. Oh god. Don't tip over. Please do not tip over. Zombies Revenge. I didn't like this one too much. It's some sort of like spin-off to House of the Dead, or at least that's how I was interpreting it. It's kind of like just a... I don't even know what you would describe it. Like Resident Evil Mercenaries mode, but not as fun. I don't know, it's a weird one for sure. Maybe give it a shot if you feel like it, but I don't know, again, this wasn't really my cup of tea. Okay. Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. I'm actually quite impressed with this game of how well they transitioned Echo to 3D, you know? You can still obviously do all the shit like going up for air and swimming and talking to people. They transitioned all of his moves pretty much flawlessly. But like most games that I've got, that I've kind of went through here, I just haven't had much time to actually sit down and play it. I mean, to be fair, that's the same with the fucking Mega Drive game. You know, even though I played it a lot, I never got like far in it. I was just like, swimming about a little bit. Then it got like too hard and I sort of gave up. It was almost the same with this one when I first played it. But, you know, again, I'm very impressed by it and I'm glad to have it. Okay. Trick Style. I remember this game would like be shown off a lot when I was younger, in like promotional videos and magazines and stuff. It's not that good, I don't think. It's sort of a racing game where you're on a hoverboard, almost like Sonic Riders. Fuck, I've never made that comparison before. But yeah, it contains original music by Curtis Mantronic. Should I know who that is? I don't know. Trick Style. I feel like I'm being too negative with all these games that have been coming up. Let's find something that I love. Sega Bass Fishing. I had this when I was younger. I even had the fucking fishing rod for the Dreamcast. That was a thing. You could buy an official motion controller fishing rod for the Dreamcast. I had that. But I never fucking played this. I don't know why. Maybe I was just that uninterested with the concept of fishing, or I was too busy playing Sonic Adventure. But I just ignored this game when I was younger, which is weird, because it also has a fucking HD version that you can get on PC and stuff. I don't know why I never put more time into Sega Bass Fishing. It's so weird to me. But, okay. Carrier, I hate to say it, we're not getting any more positive. This is just like a really shit Resident Evil game. Wasn't a big fan. Okay, here we go. Nomad Soul. Who remembers when David Cage made okay, it's wrong to say he doesn't make interesting games, but made games that were actually not laughable and worth playing because they were actually good. That's what this is, okay? I've never actually beaten this one either, which is one of my big gaming regrets, because I definitely enjoy this game a lot, guys. This was David Cage's like first game that he like directed or whatever, and you can see some like semblance of him in this, and yeah, it's really good. I enjoy this a lot. It was kind of like compared harshly to Shenmue back in the day because it's the same sort of like you walk around the city and all that. Nowhere near as good as Shenmue, obviously, but still really good. Here we have Choo Choo Rockets, classic puzzle game. This version's sealed actually. It's I have a loose copy of the game because this one's super common. You could probably like get a copy of this for like a penny somewhere. I don't know, they just made so many copies of it, and maybe they gave it away for free or something, I don't know. But yeah, classic game. I remember I actually played this a fair bit on iPad, you know, because they ported it to iPad where it worked pretty much perfectly. And yeah, it was like really good. So yeah, Choo Choo Rockets. Right. Skies of Arcadia. Best RPG on the Dreamcast, for sure. I love that game. We got Space Channel 5. I always think to myself, do I prefer this or do I prefer Rez when it comes to my sort of like music-based games for the console? I definitely don't prefer Samba de Amigo, sadly. And I don't know, they're obviously very, very different. Rez is like, while it isn't even really a music game, it's just like a shooting game that happens to incorporate beats with music, whereas this is a proper like rhythm game. A really addicting one, and I've never beaten this either. I actually sat down to try and beat this just the other like month there, near the end of 2018, and I couldn't do it, because at the very end of the game it reverses the controls and it always trips me up and I can never do it. It's so annoying, because I love everything else that the game does. I really do. Space Channel 5, ooh la la. I love you, okay? Hopefully that new game isn't shit. Here's a Bangai O. I believe this is made by Treasure, and I've not put enough time into this. I played it for like a little bit, and it seemed like you just went around a map, blowing up everything, and I don't know, it wasn't as fun. I don't think I got the game. I don't think I got how you were supposed to play it and stuff. So I should give this another try. But I got it there. Bangai O. There's the first Power Stone. Already talked about that. Rayman 2. One of my favourites. Toy Commander, another one of my favourites. Like, very underrated. A lot of people don't like this game. I think it's wonderful. Love this. This is like a big part of my childhood right here. Okay. Soul Calibur. I'm very sad to say that I did not play much of this game. I had this game. I traded it in for a shitty racing game. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. Because whenever I have played this game, it's just like, oh my god, this would have blown my fucking mind when I was younger. Why did I trade it in? I don't know why. Even like, I always remember like my stepdad, when I said, oh, I'll trade this in for this, and maybe he like was told about how sought after this game was around the Dreamcast's launch, because he actually had like this magazine and he would point out to me, it's like, Donald, look what score they gave Soul Calibur. It was a 10 out of 10. And I'm like, no, I want to trade it in. It's one of my things I look back on and I'm quite embarrassed about. So I just wish I was more familiar with this, because as a Dreamcast fan, that's the thing about being a Dreamcast fan that's almost like irks me. The console is so well known for its fighters, okay? And in fact, I think I have most of them together. We're about to get into a few fighters, and I'm kind of not that big on fighters, and it feels like it sucks to be such a big Dreamcast fan and not be into its wonderful fighting game lineup. It's like being a big fan of like the PS1 and not liking Final Fantasy VII, or being a big fan of the N64 and not liking the Zeldas. You know, it's just weird. But I'm not going to diss it. I really aren't. This is a fantastic game. I can definitely see that 100%. Right. Crazy Taxi 2. Crazy Taxi 1's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. I might as well. Definitely a lot more nostalgic for the first one, but this second one, I would actually say is technically the better game. You've got like an option to jump now, and you can do some other hilarious stuff. They've both got the same sort of like mission structure outside of the arcade experience. Yeah, not too much to differentiate them, but both really, really good. Crazy Taxi 1's one of my big favourites again on the Dreamcast. Fighting Vipers 2, I've not even popped this in yet. Okay, I was talking about Fighting Vipers 1 for the Saturn in my last video, or one of my last videos I should say. Good fighting game for sure. I've just not popped this in yet, and no one ever talks about the sequel. So I don't know how good it is, but yeah, I really need to rectify that soon. Okay. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Now, you know what guys? I actually really, really do like this game, okay? In fact... You know what? Be right back. Okay, so somebody actually commented when I was showing off these games, it's like, Duck, why don't you show off your, like, peripherals as well? And I'm not too fussed on collecting peripherals. I mean, I have a few, but since I'm talking about Street Fighter Third Strike, I might as well bring up that I do own the Dreamcast arcade stick, and it's really nice, you know. This was, like, such a cool new toy to have when I first got this, you know. And the game that I decided to try and, like, test it out on was Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and I'm just gonna see if I can get it here. This and the game that is pretty much, you know, I was talking about how I'm not the biggest fighting game guy. I think the game that kind of embodies the Dreamcast so strongly, but at the same time is a game that I'm not that much into at all, is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But yeah, this and Third Strike, I tried my damnedest to, like, try and get into, and you know what? There's a lot to love in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I can see why it's such a big, beloved game, absolutely. But I really enjoyed this one more. I don't know if it's because it was simpler, you know, you had less characters to, like, I wasn't as overwhelmed. I actually found a main, I like to play as Makoto, and the music is really nice. The sort of, like, rap music is actually really good. And yeah, it's like, I got really, really into this. I even entered a tournament for Third Strike, got fucking tanked! But it was fun, you know? And yeah, this is like, I don't know if I want to see I think it is my favourite fighting game on the Dreamcast, and it's one that I just really, really like, and I obviously love playing it on this wonderful fight stick. So yeah, that's good shit. Speaking of fighting games, this is like, for the longest time, this was probably my favourite fighting game for the Dreamcast. Dead or Alive 2. I'm very fond of the Dead or Alive games, okay? Played all of them. 5 was definitely the most meh one. In fact, I've not even played that much of 1. It was like 2, 3, and 4 were like, I played a lot of those. 6 looks really good. But yeah, this was, I just played it a lot. I don't know, it's just like, really liked it. I guess it was filling the gap that would have been occupied by Soul Calibur. Right, Sega GT. This was like Sega's version of Gran Turismo, apparently. Can't say I've played it. And same with this. Actually, I have played a little bit of this. I kind of just popped it in to give it a go, because it's a spiritual successor to... Project Gotham Racing was a spiritual successor to this. It was by the same people. And I can definitely see that, because I played Project Gotham Racing 3 a lot on the 360 back in the day. Because it was near launch and I just had it, so I just played it. But and I can see the sort of like things from this game that made it into that game. And you know what? This is alright. This is alright, but it's just not a game that you pop in to try and get nostalgic with over the Dreamcast. At least not with me. Here's Sega Rally. I prefer the Saturn version, you know. Still alright, but yeah, Saturn version's that's just irreplaceable to me. Okay, now, I was talking about RPGs earlier. Here we have Phantasy Star Online and Phantasy Star Online version 2. This one comes with a demo disc for Sonic Adventure 2 with like its weird like placeholder logo. That was pretty much the only reason I opted to get this version, other than the fact that it is a wonderful game. I just thought it would be cool to have. But yeah, I will always... people who've watched my videos for a long time are going to be sick of me praising this game so much, but I will never forget how amazed I was that this game is so fun to play when there's no internet. Okay, I was talking about Outrigger earlier, okay, and how there's no real point in playing that game without any internet. That's not the case with this. You can play this and have just so much fun without any internet connection and community or whatever, because it's just that good of a like system. It is very, very, very grindy, okay? I'm gonna tell you that. If that like gets to you, then fair enough. But if you can see past that, if you're invested in building your character and then the world it creates and like all the just different stuff that you can do, this game is excellent. 100%, one of my top 10 Mega Drive game. Mega Drive, Dreamcast. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, we're almost done. Virtua Fighter 3 TB. I hear bad things about this. Apparently AM2 didn't like do it themselves. They did Fighting Vipers 2, the Dreamcast port themselves, but this one they didn't. And as a result, it's kind of like looked at as one of the weaker Virtua Fighter games. At least this port. Yeah, I don't know about the arcade version, but yeah, I have it there. Dynamite Cop. This is the sequel to Die Hard Arcade. Again, they're called different things in Japan. And it's the same sort of game. You play as like 3 people in some squad, and it's sort of a beat 'em up and all that. I think Die Hard Arcade's a bit better, but this is still fun as well. I still really like this. Okay. Quake 3. I don't know, I just thought it was cool to have. I don't know, I kind of just say that again. I'm kind of dismissing it because there's no point, because there's no online now. Although I did just praise the shit out of Phantasy Star. I really shouldn't be quick to judge, but yeah, fuck it. Ready to Rumble Boxing. This is a nostalgic one for me for sure. And I remember, in fact, I remember why I traded in Soul Calibur, because my mentality at the time was that I only needed one fighting game. Okay, I didn't need 2 fighting games. I had this, and I had Soul Calibur. I wanted to trade one in. I chose this over Soul Calibur. I swear to God, the Dreamcast is my favourite console. Right. Toy Story 2. Yes, I paid that much for it back in the day, and it was well fucking worth it. This game is excellent. Virtua Tennis 2. Again, I think this was the one I played more, but I don't know. Again, these games are good. I just don't have much to say. Silver, a sort of like Western RPG game, which I didn't put much time into. I pretty much just have like a handful of Dreamcast games that I really, 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 really love, and that's why the console is in such high regard for me. Everything else was either like alright to, I've not played it that much. Again, need to rectify that. I kind of saw that with the Mega Drive Collection as well. Fuck's sake, Donald. Anyway, Silver, yeah. Headhunter, this is a really good one actually. You know, it's not like the biggest game, I should say. You just play as some badass 90s movie star character. You run about in a motorcycle, you like shoot shit, and it works pretty well for the Dreamcast. You know, it had like a 3D, it had like a cover-based shooting system at the time. It pulls that all off really well with just like one analog stick, and yeah, the story's really fun too. So yeah, Headhunter, I recommend this. It gets really glitchy near the end of the game. I definitely noticed that. I was like falling through the floor, sorry, and all that near the end of the game. You really got the sense that they ran out of time to test it. But it's still fun. It's still really fun. Soul Reaver. I love this game to death, and I really love Raziel. He's one of my favourite characters. I feel like I say that a lot, but yeah. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. The sequel's really good as well. Love this game. And our last game... Oh man, this is anticlimactic. Toy Racer, the sort of spin-off racing game of Toy Commander that I got for like a $5 in Woolworths back in the day and didn't even play. And that's my Dreamcast games, and yeah, love the Dreamcast. You will never, like, convince me of anything else in this world more thoroughly than the quality of this console. And doing the rest of these collection videos almost seems like a chore now that the Dreamcast is done, but what can you do? Let's just end this. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.